Huzzah, Rangers. This is Phil Harris here at the Jax Rangers Show. I am joined with Bozo6. Bozo, how the hell are you?
I'm doing better after the second try on the intro. A lot better.
I will say that Spider is such a great hype man. What a great dude he is to help me out with that. And we've got TK here, the general manager of the Free Jacks. TK, how the hell are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Evening, gentlemen. And amazing video footage captured.
Appreciate
there.
that.
What is
Appreciate
that?
that.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew immediately that I was like, this is going to be an intro for us, so I might as well just go ahead and throw that out there. It reminds me of like how they used to do Jackass back in the day. Like, this is Johnny Knoxville and welcome to Jackass, and they would do something stupid, like jump off a bridge or something. So yeah, I wanted to get that in there. But TK, the Free Jacks won the championship. What was your overall impressions of just the season in 2023? That's what I wanted to start off with.
Yeah, man, it's an open-ended question, if you will, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, it's still pretty surreal at the moment. Overall impressions, I think it was obviously an exceptionally good season. Like a fine wine, we got better as we aged throughout the year, and the connections grew, and we got to know each other better. And I think you could see that on the field. And no, look, yeah, really good season. Really proud of the efforts, and I don't think it was just this season. I think it was last year, and it was also 2021 and even 2020. And you could make a claim that even 2019 played into it. So, yeah.
I'm super proud of this organization, and I know Bozo is as well. But what really stuck out to me is the award ceremony that I was, had a great privilege to be able to be at, and just how close the guys were, and congratulating each other on winning awards. I knew at that time, I was like, this team is special. They love each other, and they're going to go win a championship for each other. I just thought that was a really, really special moment right there. It really made everything like connect for me. Like, this team is really, really good, and they're super special, and they care about each other. So thoughts on, what happens in your mind as the final whistle blew in Chicago? What's going through your mind at that point?
There were definitely a couple of tears. There was like elation, was probably the right word. And I gave it like a max effort sprint. So like I collided with George Petrakos, the S&C, on the way out. There's some hilarious footage. We both hit the ground, and then I'm shaking him off to get to the melee of people. But no, it was pretty cool. It actually felt like a dream a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, but then once that settled down, I actually felt for San Diego, because we could have very easily been on the other side of that coin. And
100%.
Yeah, so look, yeah, no, I was a happy man, I suppose.
Same here, man. But it did feel like a dream. I think that's a great way to describe it, because there was a bit of shock. I think throughout the crowd, that definitely for myself, I was just absolutely shocked. Of course, I had confidence in my Free Jacks winning the championship. They deserved to be there. They could have easily beat San Diego. They came out and got the job done with a 1-point margin of victory and won the game. But there was just a level of shockness, I think, throughout the crowd to a certain extent, and almost a bit of numbness. And I think you put it the best way as possible, is it felt like a dream. So yeah, and Bozo, we've got the best reaction of all time when you say.
Have you checked those out, by the way?
Oh, so good. The clips are unreal. You've got a little bit of a delay going on. You go, we're champs. Huzzah! Yeah. Oh, it's so good, guys. If you haven't seen that, check out the clips that we posted about the final. Man,
I forget that the camera's right in my face when I'm like watching the game.
Dude, it's
because I'm in the comfort of my own home, man. I'm just chilling. I'm relaxing,
It's so good.
Well, I wasn't really relaxing, to be honest. I was like at the end of the game. So, but yeah, it was cool.
Amazing time. So happy for all the Free Jacks out there, the fans and the players and the organization. You had asked me a similar question during our little role reversal interview that people are really, really digging, by the way, at that pub crawl that we did for the championship parade and rally. That was last week. So I got to ask you, what is your least favorite memory as a Free Jacks employee?
Of all time, or?
Yeah, all time. What's the worst? Like what is the lowest moment?
Yeah, great question. Like, there's a few that stick out. So losing to Nola and pretty much losing the playoffs in 2021 at home.
Woof. Yeah, that was rough.
Remind us.
Yeah, player player injuries, we last this year. There was a tough one for him. The player injuries, I felt like we got humiliated a bit by San Diego back in 2020. So it definitely felt like we got a bit of redemption this year back over them. Those would probably be three of the low, but they're not that low, eh? No one died.
Right.
Yeah, they're not that low, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think you listened to the Eastern Conference Final last year. That's the low moment for me as a fan of the Free Jacks for sure. That was tough, man. That offseason, it felt like somebody died. Our playoffs hopes were killed in that game. So yeah, that was a bummer. But
it could be worse, Phil.
It could be worse.
You could be San Diego fans of this season.
You know what? It could be worse where you win the championship and then lose and get upset by a team that won 3 games last year. Woof. Anywho.
Wow.
Yeah, I threw that out there. New York sucks.
We keep firing.
Yeah. This is the grave dancing has only just begun. Right now we're in like the honeymoon phase of winning the championship. Just wait, man. There's gonna be some wild stuff that we post.
Man, I thought I was crazy lobbing rounds at San Diego, and there you are. Man. You're just like, hey, New York is already dead. They're buried. The funeral's over, and Phil's just out here.
I'm just tap dancing. I got my tap dancing shoes on. I'm having a blast over here, man. Oh, it feels so good. But TK, I wanted to ask you, can you confirm with us tonight that you'll be back for another season in 2024 as the general manager of the Free Jacks? Can we get that out of the way?
Yes.
Nice. This is great because you and Scott Matthew have this really, really great working relationship. And Scott's back as well. We confirmed that on Saturday of last week at the championship parade. So year 3 of his 3-year contract, he's coming back, the best coach in MLR. We've got the best GM. So I think that makes a lot of Rangers out there super, super confident heading into 2024. So that's awesome. We got those 2 victories right there after the big one in the MLR final. The MLR draft is right around the corner. It's August the 17th. With the growth of the Free Jacks Academy, how does the whole homegrown talent thing work within the draft? So if we've got a guy that, you've identified maybe a year or 2 ago that's been coming up, maybe he's in college right now and graduating, but he's been a part of the, indies and everything else. How does that work? How can you, protect him from going to other teams? Is that something that's possible?
Yeah, great question. And I think we'll begin to see it hopefully more and more moving forward. And essentially, if you can show a strong affiliation, how good Chris Leninger, the great man, patrolling the sidelines. If you can see if you can prove a strong affiliation between your academy, for example, that player's played for the Independents, he's gone to college in New England, been to whatever it is, he's been to high school in New England, he's been involved with your organization, then you can tag them as a homegrown player and they can circumvent the draft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I love that. That's awesome, man. That's fantastic because obviously the financials within this league are not where we all want them to be for the players. And if you're coming out of college, maybe you've got the opportunity to go work somewhere, or close by. But let's say you get drafted by NOLA, you're going to make a hard decision there. Maybe like you want to play rugby, that's where your heart is, but it doesn't make sense for your wallet. So if you can stay close by in Boston, perhaps, and be a homegrown talent, for the Free Jacks and still get paid on the side and also, work and whatever, I think that would be an ideal scenario going forward. But also just the concept of having an academy and developing players. You don't want to lose those guys to one of your opponents, one of your rivals in the draft. So it makes a ton of sense on multiple levels. So I'm very excited to see that come along. And obviously the Free Jacks have been developing their academy for quite a long time. It's something that they focused on. It's all a part of that community building for the Free Jacks. So yeah, really, really happy to see that to come to fruition. Let's talk about the draft picks really quick. What draft picks do the Jacks have? I know that there was a graphic that was released today by MLR, but can you give us some specific information for the people that may not have seen that?
Yeah, so at the moment we've got one round 1 pick. So I think it's number 30. We obviously finished top, so we got the last pick in the first round.
Yep,
and then we've
13.
got 2. That's right, 13, and then 2 second-round picks, ours and DC's from a trade with DC from last year. So no third-round pick, but 3 picks total at this stage.
Was that second round pick that we picked up for DC, was that for the Quentin Newcomer trade that they got him?
That's right. Yep.
And the one that we lost for the third round pick, was that Connor Keys?
Yes, great. Either well researched or great memory, a bit of both.
Just a great memory, man. Well, I kind of enjoy all this stuff. So it's all in the back of my mind somewhere, and all of my U.S. history factoids are back there too, that are just stored in a crypt somewhere. So yeah, man, like this is super exciting. I think when you look at those deals, like, hey, Trader TK over here is just dominating other GMs out there. All of those are great. I mean, to get Connor Keys on a third round pick with the contributions that he did on this year, unreal. That's a 10 out of 10, man. Do you foresee any movement? Because you said those are what we have for now. Any movement of those picks for players before the draft, perhaps?
Yeah, I think there'll be a fair bit of movement over the next month. Like there's a lot of water to go under the bridge. We're waiting on a schedule to come out, and there's a whole, raft of information that we need to make really good, accurate decisions. But one point, obviously, is the fact that we've all got pretty well built out rosters. And is it realistic that you're going to bring in 3 players from the draft and give them a genuine opportunity, and what do your needs look like? So we're assessing that at the moment and working out, right, what do we need? What do these opportunities we can or can't provide look like? And making sure we do right by the players as well. So we're definitely excited by it. Like I was watching the Collegiate Shield today, a couple of good New Englanders involved in that game. Nice. And we're definitely going to be doing our research and making sure we, have the best draft day that we can, or whatever that looks like.
The Jack's Ranger Show is also going to be doing their research, but thank God we don't get to make the picks because that would not go well. But, we want to get into, we love talking about the draft. That's kind of like a thing that New Englanders are kind of, a little sleepy about, especially the NFL draft, because people don't really pay too much attention to collegiate football around here. But, I definitely want to focus on that. We did that last year with bringing on Zach Lanning, one of the experts of the collegiate American rugby landscape around here. And that's just got so many intersections and all that sort of stuff. But he's a great guy to have on. We'll definitely have him on again if he's available to discuss the draft. But I wanted to ask you, what positions of need, I mean, it's still early in the process, I understand, but what positions are you kind of highlighting that the Jacks may need to, focus on in the offseason, whether that be draft picks or bringing guys in or whatever?
Yeah, I think if probably tradition, if you look back at players that have done well through the collegiate draft, you've got some wingers, you've got some loose forwards, you've got some props. And I think those positions where you can just be an athlete, you can do your job and nail your job, because there is such a big jump in level. And for these guys to come out at 23, like you said, they've got financial pressure. It's a high level, and they've got to make that jump quickly. Otherwise they fall off. So with, you look at Justin Johnson, Spencer Kruger, Zach Bastres, they're 3 of our highest performing draft picks to date. And they're in those positions, aren't they? So, we'll be looking at all positions, but I think those positions where we can see the athleticism come to the fore will be good to us.
Yeah, Zach Bastres is a guy I constantly highlight when talking about the draft for the Free Jacks. Third round pick, if I'm recalling correctly, just an absolute gem, a diamond in the rough that guy is. Anytime that he plays, he's giving 110%. He's going all out on the pitch. And just a great talent, fast, can run like the wind. That's why they call him the Puma. But so glad that we have that guy. And he's a New England Patriots fan, guys, if you're not aware of that, from his family there in Colorado. Quick question about the assistant coaches. So we've got Scott Matthew coming back as the head coach, which is fantastic. Mike Rogers is back in New Zealand as the head coach of Manawatu. What is the status of assistant coach Will Webster with the club, and is there a hiring process going on right now to fill any vacancies for assistant coaches?
Yeah. No, I'd probably precursor it by saying you never really know in professional sport, do you? Like, right. Someone could come knocking for Scotty in Japan, and who are we to hold him back?
I'll hold him back.
I'll be hanging on to another leg with you.
Maybe another airport trip.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We'll
sure.
divert the plane back to Boston Logan.
That's right.
No, but yeah, at this stage, I think it's really likely that we'll be back, and so hopefully, in terms of we'll have a lot of continuity, and
love it.
Yeah, we're going well. We're approaching the interviewing stages for the vacancy that obviously Mike's departure has left us with. At the
Bozo, this is your chance. Diamond Dave, this is your chance. Get in on it right now.
Negative. Hey, after my 5:38 Bronco time, I think I'm highly qualified to run water. Just saying.
No
I
doubt.
am ready.
You would be
but I don't know. You got to get rid of that sniper up there in the yellow building across the street at Fort Quincy. If he hits my hamstring again, I think that might be putting me into permanent retirement.
So funny, man. Let's quickly get, this is going to be my last question for you, TK. You're on the hot seat here, I understand. So I got one more. Mike Rogers dropped a bomb on this show last month. On his way out the door, he confirmed the long-awaited strategic partnership that I've been asking about for what seems like 2 years for the Jacks. You know, it's Manawatu, but he also mentioned additional potential strategic partnerships with other NPC teams. What other NPC teams are the Jacks working with? Maybe the best to describe it, like sharing information or staff, however that's working. Is there other ones out there?
Yeah. So I'm back in August for a portion of August, and I fly into Auckland, and I'm gonna zigzag with the wife down the North Island and stopping at a bunch of different unions. So Hawke's Bay, we've got Paula at Hawke's Bay, which is awesome. And
oh wow, okay.
Josh Sims helped to orchestrate that deal this year. So it just goes to show it's all really relationships, isn't it? And Zach Basters is going to go and join Hawke's Bay as a development player. So that's an awesome opportunity for a guy like fantastic. That, you know.
So excited for them.
Yeah, that's it's been one of our big work-ons is, you know, we've got a 5-6 month off season. So either guys need to be making money, getting a good life experience, or getting better as a rugby player, ideally all three.
Yeah.
So we've put a lot of time into helping these guys and getting as many of them into other environments when, you know, at this stage we can't cater for them year round. So like that's the next best thing we can do, I think, to keep getting better and helping them as people.
You said that was taking place in August, TK?
In August, yeah. So heading over in August. Yeah, like obviously Otago is where I'm from. I'm going to be popping in there, and yeah, like Mike's a great relationship as well, of course, having you know, known both spaces so well.
I don't know if you've got any room in your carry-on for Bozo and I to head down there with you to enjoy
flex some tickets. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, Delta. Get on it. Yeah, that'd be a blast. You know, we've been joking about that for a while now. You know, heading down to NPC and seeing some games, especially down there at the Turbo Jacks. You know, so many of our players getting an opportunity down there with Mike to really shine through down there in NPC. So that's going to be a blast. But yeah, that was really all I had for you, TK. I know that Bozo's got some questions that Dave wrote up here. Diamond Dave, unfortunately, unable to join us. He's traveling across the country right now, or maybe running from authorities. Who really knows what's happening with Dave? But yeah, Dave's unable to join us, so we got Bozo here to lead us home here.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Like any good player, I'm coming off the bench. You know what I mean? Put me in the game, coach. It's the 60th minute. Change the front row. Put me in, and I got legs for 20 minutes at least. So yeah. Phil put it out there. Full disclosure, it is very easy to pick up the ball and run with Dave's questions, right? So I'll add my own little flavor on them, but these are full disclosure. There's Dave's questions, and I have like one of my own at the end where TK, you're going to be in the hot seat.
Yeah,
we got to have a chat man to man here on the public show here. So I'll let that marinate, right? That's a interview technique. I'll let you marinate on that as we get through the questions. So, Dave's one of Dave's first questions. I really like this one. One of the jokes that I always have in our Outrider chat is I call it the Bunnings MLR because there was basically an invasion of NPC players. So I feel like Bunnings should just sponsor MLR, get rid of Fastenal, and just make it clean like that. But with the NPC season starting, and there's so many MLR players or NPCs players that became MLR players. And now they're back over there. And you being a native New Zealander, are you watching as a fan? Is it hard to, or are you like pen and paper? You're in the lab, you're working, you're looking at guys and potentially sniping over here to the Free Jacks. Like, how's that going for you?
Yeah, no, both. I would say more enjoying it, but obviously we're watching, and I think that the best thing you can do is have strong relationships, so you can be you don't have to work it all out for yourself. You can be asking like, right, who are the next best in line in their position who aren't going to be making Super Rugby this year, and you can get that information relatively quickly. But yeah, like I can't wait. Like you guys said, the Turbo Jacks, that's hilarious. And we're going to have the
That's
most.
mine. I'm calling that, by the way.
That's brilliant.
Copyright.
I don't know that the local community in Manawatu have taken too kindly to the Free Jacks invasion of Palmerston North, but no, it's great for us, and can't wait to watch it.
Nice. So, all right. So, if I can summarize the vibe correctly, you're a fan when Otago's playing, so you're like, let's go. But then if it's two other teams, you're just like, whatever. Or at least now Manawatu, you're probably a Manawatu fan. You got to be.
Got to be, otherwise Mike could kill me. Yeah.
All right, that's fair enough. And then, are you watching? Like, how close of an eye are you keeping on the international tests? I know we had a lot of Canadians and stuff on the team, and then obviously Mitch is with the USA, and they're not playing in the World Cup, but they are playing summer tests. Like, how close of an eye are you keeping on that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think it is vital that we maintain healthy relationships with both unions, the North American unions, and understand the depth charts there and who the next in line players are. And, we got a really good jump on some of those Canadian boys like Foster Dewitt and Isaac Olsen. And, you've got to do that if you want to be in this sort of a role. And, there's a scarcity of high quality North American players. So you've got to be over that stuff, eh? But yeah, we'll be watching. They've got a tour. The Canadians fly on the 24th, so 4 days from now, to Fiji, I believe. So yeah, that'll be it'll be cool. Hopefully those games are televised. I'm not sure if they are or not, but I assume they probably are. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, just a quick aside for people that might not know, if you're listening or watching the show, you have to have a certain amount of domestic players on your roster for game days. And that's why it's important, like TK said, to stay on top of that, because if you have a significant talent drop off because you don't have good domestic talent on your team, it's going to hurt the team. And luckily we had that in spades. We were good to go, so to speak, with Canada South taking us over. And then can we expect roughly an equivalent roster turnover to as last year, or what's that looking like? What's the team status looking like so far?
Yeah, it's early days, of course, and like there's so much like we're awaiting information as normal from the league on our various parameters that we've got to operate within, but we're hoping for far less turnover than we had this past year. Like I think when the season got underway, we had something like a 58% retention rate. Which sounds awfully low, really. But I think in MLR with a 5-month off season, you think about we had Stan get injured, we had Slade get injured. They were both guys that were going to be coming back. There's going to be unforeseen circumstances. Harry Barlow joined the military, and that so is the nature of the league at the moment. But yeah, like we're hopeful to have that be, one of the highest marker points in the league, hopefully this season and heading into next, which would be great for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can speak for most fans when I say fans are hoping for not the championship, post-championship blow up. We're hoping for like the consolidation and like everyone's like come, closer together. And then obviously you always lose a few, but then you're attracting that high value player because they see what's going on here. So it ends up working out in our favor. I think everyone's kind of hoping for that kind of outcome. Hold on, I'm scrolling through Dave's questions here. And then you mentioned that you were going back to New Zealand and touring around the different unions. Are you going to take some downtime when you're over there? Like, what's your time off looking like this year?
Yeah, good question. It's actually a really tough couple of months post-season where, we've got to get through all of our staff and player contracting. Typically, there's been no movement in the salary cap, so it makes it incredibly difficult when you spend 100% of available dollars, and then it's like you deserve a pay raise, but if I give you a pay raise, then that means someone else has got to take less, or we've got to move someone on, and there'll be some tough decisions as normal this off season. But it's also one of the fun parts of the job is getting entwined in that stuff intellectually and doing the best job you can for the club. So yeah, the next couple of weeks will be heavy reviews and post-mortem of the season and wrapping up our housing and working out where we could have been better and where we need to get better holistically around the club. And then once I'm on the road in August, I'm really looking forward to, I can do that stuff remotely, the contracting and connecting with players and agents and planning for next year. So, I'll be able to spend some time with the family and then spend some hours on the laptop and not on the phone. And I enjoy that stuff. So that'll be good. I'll send you guys some photos from the beach and, and from.
Oh yeah. I've been known to send DMs from the beach. I do videos to the players from, I call it Bozo at the Beach, and I send them a little segment with my personal thoughts and musings. Provide some entertainment for the guys. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to the championship. I know post championship, like right after that final whistle to now, like you're now in recovery mode, and then maybe it was a little fuzzy for a couple of days due to the celebrations. But what were your thoughts on the neutral venue at SeatGeek? So I'll take Dave's question. I'll extrapolate into 3 questions. What were your thoughts when they announced it? Or you may have been asked that before. I don't know. And then what were your thoughts when you actually got there? And then now that you've had some time to reflect, did it change your mind in anything or?
Yeah. At the beginning, I was just glad there was early communication, I thought that was great from the league. They communicated early and made a plan. And that's the biggest box ticked, isn't it? Like just communicating with everyone who's bought into this whole thing, Major League Rugby. This is what we're doing, and this is why, which you can understand based on the, what happened last year. Phil, you weren't too pleased with that, eh?
No.
Yeah,
we weren't initially, but yeah, it took us a while to come around. But we thought about it logically. Logic set in. Once emotion subsided, logic set in, and we were like, wait a second, this is a good idea.
Right. Yeah, I had a couple of good conversations with Rick. I really like and respect Rick, even though he's from New York, and Rick Salizo, who's the sort of the chief executive / GM of New York, and then Adam Fry from LA. And both of them said it was so hard turning around. You host an event maybe, then you've got 7 days to make sure you've got a venue, get all your vendors, sell tickets, let everyone know what time kickoff is, all that sort of shabazz. And I think listening to them, it's definitely the right decision for where we are as a league. And I guess in regard to the event itself, I was really blown away. Phil, you were there. It was like the DJ Diesel set during the warm-up was ridiculous.
Unreal, man. So good.
Loud. And the funny thing was we were the away team because we had we had less points than San Diego, so they were excited. They had the better changing room, and they were on that side of the field. But then they found out that Shaq was playing on that side of the field.
Yep.
The music was, and they're like, no, we want to be on that side, and we're like, no, that's our side. That's the visitor side.
Yep.
So
nice.
We got a wee advantage there. And then our theme this year was the Red Sox. So or Road to Fenway. It's sort of the theme was that. Mike's told you guys this. One of our goals was to score the most tries in the league, and we came pretty close to that. And the other one was to build a huge attendance, and I think we did a pretty good job of that, and make it so that it's a viable prospect to actually play a game at some point in time when it works in Fenway Park. And to have shipping up to Boston play post match, that was the dreamy part for me. It was like this is all too good to be true. I hope I'm not going to wait.
The band that formed in Quincy playing for the team from Quincy that just won it all. Yeah, some conspiracy theorists are out there, TK, and they say that it was all staged. They say that it was one deep hook set last year's Eastern Conference final, that it's all been written, impossible, but it was pretty good. Pretty good.
This isn't Italian soccer, guys. That's not how it works here.
My only other thing that I was actually pondering today. Sorry, sometimes I zag in interviews and my ADD kicks in. I was driving into work this morning and I thought to myself, it just suddenly hit me. I don't know why. I was just driving along and I thought, man, would they have played Shipping Up to Boston if San Diego won? Or would they just scratch that from the set? Did they have an alternate set list if San Diego won? They had to, right?
You know what's wild is they had in the background, they had a bunch of Boston scenes of drone footage of Fenway and stuff like that. I'm wondering also as well, it's were they going to play that if we got stomped into the ground in the final? Boy, that would have been real deflating. That would have been a kick in the nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm just confused. Like they had to have had some kind of alternate plan because just like you said, that was the whole point of this neutral venue, right? Get everyone on the same page, plan it out, think it out. Like I want to see the MLR alternate ending concert plan. Gotta get those. So TK, if you can snipe those from a meeting, if you're in with the other GMs, if you find the secret binder, just give it the good old swipe, the little sticky fingers, just grab that thing and run. Photocopies mail to at jacksrangersgmail.com. Send it. All right, enough of that nonsense. So do you think that the league's going to continue after this year's success, the final? I think it's a no-brainer. Do you think that they continue with the neutral venue?
Yeah, I think so. I think they do.
And then just based off geographic, quick follow-up to that one is I think naturally they go back to Chicago. It has the capacity. Everyone seemed to like the hotel parking, all that other stuff. Do you think they just go back there and they just re-up it for that next year?
I'm not opposed to that at all. I think it's the perfect stadium size. We can, it can take another 10K if we were able to get there. And, why not? It teaches behavior for people to get to Chicago for it. And I think also, like, there aren't too many other places you'd want to play such a high stakes match in the middle of summer,
Yeah,
Right.
true. And it's right in the middle of the country. So again, if you have any of these things like, Seattle's always a strong club. They're so far out west. They're one of the farthest road trips. So that's makes it better for them than to come to like what they had to do against New York. That must have been tough. So, all right. No, I think everyone else was kind of thinking that too. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And then what can fans expect from the Shield Tour across New England? They've released some towns. I think some people are scratching their head with Keene, New Hampshire. Why Keene? Manchester's the Queen City. We got Concord, the capital, right up the highway. Why are you going out in the west boonies there?
Yeah, I think we're quite happy to take requests. A lot of this has been tied into our regional training groups. Like I know I've had a couple of breweries reach out. So I'm probably on Mike Rogers' behalf. I'll have to nip down there and take the Shield down just to make sure that those places are frequented. But no, there's it's going to be awesome. That we've got there's a bus in the making too. There's a Free Jacks bus that's been renovated over the last 3 or 4
months. Did the Vidowitz have anything to do with that?
I think it's Mags' special bus, and I've seen a couple of photos. I know it exists. I know it had a lot of work to do to get roadworthy, but that thing hopefully will be online, and we'll be going around and running some youth sessions and scouting some players across the areas, and we'll be there with players and the Shield. But yeah, if there's anywhere you guys think it should be, then like I saw a request for where was it in Northern Mass? Someone wanted to have it up there where they hold some watch parties and some cool stuff like that. So I think we're really open to getting it right around New England before it goes into the trophy cabinet.
I don't want to give too much away, but I will just say this. In the main highway that you take to get to Mags' house, I don't know if you've ever been up there. I've never been up there, but I know what town he lives in. I am 3 minutes off that highway. Pick me up, bro. I'm here. Just pick me up. Go live. I'll have Phil waiting in tow. We'll have some ice cold storm-alongs. Pick us up for a bus ride. That'd be cool. Yeah. Which that's kind of alluding to our mono and mono talk there, our tough talk that we have to have here in a couple of minutes here. And then I guess this is like the last like Dave question is, are you involved in the U23 series between USA and Canada, the women over there at Fort Quincy?
Yes, I'm going to be there Wednesday next week. I think it's outstanding. We're all about trying to develop all rugby in our area and do the best we can to I guess raise all tides. So I think it'll be a really high quality game. It'll be great for the women's game. It'll be a great event. We can keep it going. The Shield will be there. Players will be there. It'll be great to see everyone again and just keep this thing going, make it more of a year round, more events, more fun. So yeah, that's brilliant. And I think there's going to be more events like that. Yes.
Awesome. And now for our serious question, TK, our serious question. Speaking of buses, I heard on another show that they got to be on the parade bus. Is that true?
What show? What show was that?
I don't want to promote them on our show. That's I'm petty, but hey, it began with an S and ends in a Z. There's two guys and they're from Quincy. they have a show. They hang out with the Eagle, and apparently they got to be on the parade bus.
Yeah,
what is this? What is this nonsense?
I do remember them getting tickets. Yeah, no, look, things are pretty foggy from that day and that bus ride. So as long as there's no film of the bus, then I'm happy.
There you go.
That's all good. That's all good. It's all friendly. It's all. It came out. I watched the episode. It's the Steele and Nash show. I'm not that petty. Steele and Nash show. It was a good show. They had the Eagle, Kyle Sakara, and they were just recounting what they could remember from the evening. And that's self-admittedly, that's them on the show. They were saying that they were like, "Yeah, we were having a time." So they say. But yeah, party bus. Don't forget about me. I'm on the way up to Mags's. It's literally, I kid you not, my home is a 3-minute detour. I'm right there, nestled in the woods, a couple miles off the highway. It's too easy. Pick me up on the bus. I'll go live. I'll get the details from Phil. I'll enter in because it's not on my phone. I'll have to enter in the password or whatever, and I'll go live for the show. It'll be funny.
Great. Yeah, I'll link you in with Wheelsy and let's make it happen.
All righty. And maybe you guys can come do a Granite Bistro episode. It'd be great.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Dorchester Room guys might get mad at me again, but that's all right.
TK, we got a couple of fan questions, if you don't mind staying on just a couple more minutes here. We've got Dylan chiming in here. Could we see more elite level matches at the vet? You can tell that Dylan's only been there one time. He's talking about Fort Quincy, guys. Like the U23 matches this weekend and in the futures. Could we see more elite level matches there at Fort Quincy?
Yeah, most definitely. Like how cool would it be to have, an actual test match be played there at
That would be so good. Especially against Canada because it's close by. The border's not too far away. There's so many French Canadians in the area. I think that would be a home run for that, for sure. We got another one from our good friend Joseph Ling chiming in here. Any info on supplemental draft for Miami? Is that going to take place, TK?
Yes.
Okay.
It will be taking place in the near future, early August, I believe, and we're all going to it'll be similar to some of the other expansion drafts like the Dallas one that we've had in the past, where you've got to nominate 5 players that they are able to converse with. And stuff like that. And, teams typically find all sorts of weird and wacky ways of getting around that, nominating players that are retiring or injured or definitely not leaving. But, we'll definitely, I think most teams have put forward a couple of guys who, that would be a good new home for them for whatever reason.
Gotcha. Okay. Appreciate that information here. We got maybe a couple more here. Let's see. We've already answered one of these in terms of the Free Jacks needs for 2024 here. Here's one. Can TK describe the scouting process for college players? What does that look like? Hours in the film room and emails or out in the field? What's that look like for you, TK?
Yeah, essentially, it's quite a fun process. You receive a regularly updated list of entries, I guess, into the draft or draftees. And most of them have film attached, some don't, some you've got to go digging. But I usually make a few phone calls around the various collegiate areas of the game and find out, what they think of the draftees, and then watch a bunch of film. Then we start calling, and then we try to rank them. So sort of 1 through, if it's 39 picks, and we've got the 39th, 1 through 39. We try to get them all ranked and work out, that according to what we need. And then the other thing we like to do as well is work out the next 20 or so below that and try to get on the phone to as many of them as possible and say, hey, look, we think you've got something. We'd love you to come out into our area. This is what happens with rugby in our area. Here are some local clubs, and get those guys out there. So it's a big process. It takes definitely tens and tens of hours to get through it all, but no, it's pretty cool part of the job.
I appreciate that. That's great information here. Just a couple more. In terms of the actual domestic players that are necessary on the roster here, it says 10 of the game day, 23 have to be American eligible, right? So can you just kind of explain like the domestic requirements and then the international slots that we have on the Free Jacks?
Yeah. So yes, they have to. 10 of your match day 23 have to be North American eligible. So either eligible to play for Canada or America, the United States. So this year you can trade those as it stands as well. So this year we traded with Toronto and Dallas to acquire 2 extra foreign spots. And I think one of the reasons we did that is because we came into the league a little bit later. A good number of the domestic players had already been accounted for across various teams. So we felt as though to be competitive, we really needed to attain, 1 or 2 extra spots. Whereas I feel now, there's a bit of appeal to be part of this organization, and potentially we don't need those quite so much, which will be good. But yeah, that's how it rolls.
Excellent. So appreciate all of your information tonight. You've been fantastic and generous with your time. Any message that you have out there for the Rangers that you wanted to throw out there before we exit the video?
Yeah, I think look, one of the big appeals of being a Free Jack is the community and Fort Quincy. Without giving too much away, I think there might be some upgrades taking place to Fort Quincy, which is pretty exciting. And like, I'm really excited to collectively, keep giving this everything and making it bigger and better. And look, thanks everyone. Thanks to you two and Dave and the Daves for all your time and effort, and it really helps us make this what we want it to be, and gives it a lot of validity. So hey, I really appreciate it, and thanks everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
With that being said, thank you, TK. Of course, I've got one word for everybody out there, and 3, 2, 1, huzzah!
Huzzah!